So I'm a massive fanboy of Cisco Umbrella. I think in the grand scheme of security solutions out there, it's very powerful. Gives you an awful lot of capability for actually a really quite simple solution to deploy and use. And so what I wanted to do today was just kind of show that simplicity really on the reporting side of things and run through a couple of quite common use cases that I find with my customers out of the reporting section. So from the homepage here, it's really easy to navigate the menus. Obviously, left-hand side here, you've got reporting. It's got a load of built-in kind of core reports and additional ones. In all honesty, I tend to spend pretty much all my time just going through the activity search because you can navigate to pretty much everything you want to from there. So just click on that one and it brings you into the activity search kind of reporting section. Now, as you'll note up the top here, this is showing us the last 24 hours. But what I want to do is run through a couple of use cases. So ones I tend to see are twofold really. We normally tend to have the first use case, which is the SecOps team want to understand from a security perspective who's been blocked from accessing any of the nasties. So I'll show you how to do that. So as an example, you've got a SecOps meeting on a Monday at lunchtime. So we want to generate a report to send over to the SecOps team. So we want to change filter to the last 7 days. That might take a little bit of time to generate because I'm just using the demo platform, but that's been nice and quick. I'm going to say, okay, well, what's been blocked? And then if we scroll down the left-hand side here, whilst that updates, we can say, okay, from a security category perspective, what do we want to include? So kind of most common ones would be, we want to say phishing, malware, crypto mining, and command and control is always a big one. You know, have you got ransomware compromised hosts that are trying to call back to a CNC domain, so we'd include that one as well. One thing you'll see here is that on the left-hand side here, it says, oh, is it a web policy that's picked this up? Is it DNS? Or you could have potentially firewall as well. So what that means is we're using the secure internet gateway packages, not just the DNS. If it's just a DNS package you've got, it will just highlight as a DNS on how the request has picked it up. So once we've selected the criteria, if there's any kind of individual, and in the individual blocks you want to jump into in a little bit more detail, there's only specific ones here. So, you know, I could pick up Job City on a DNS request, for example, for this user. I can scroll across down the bottom here to see more information, but in all honesty, the easiest way to do it is just click on the little radial buttons here, and we can go to View Full Details, which gives us a full breakdown of, you know, when it occurred, who the user was, where they were, IP addresses, destinations, etc., etc. Okay, but for the purpose of, you know, generating this report, we've selected our filter criteria, and we want to go up to Schedule. It gives us a summary of the different filters that we've applied. Click Continue. Now, when do you want to generate this report? So if it's for a weekly kind of reoccurring meeting, I'd say, okay, well, I want to select that weekly. And if the meeting is on a Monday at 12 o'clock, let's say we want to generate that at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we want it for the last calendar week. Hit Continue. So let's call that SecOps report. And in here, all you do is put the email addresses of the recipient or recipients that you want that to go through to, and click Save. Really easy. So that's use case one. So cancel that one. Second use case that I see quite frequently, if I just clear them, would be, okay, from an authorized usage perspective. So if we've got users that we think are going to, or trying to go to destinations that wouldn't necessarily adhere to the corporate use policy, we'd say, okay, well, what do we don't have to go blocked. I'm just doing it for simplicity here. We'd say, okay, well, what have we blocked? And we do it from a content category perspective. So we can scroll down to content categories and say, let's pick a couple of classic ones. We'd say gambling, and well, lotteries could fall under gambling as well, so we'll have that. So again, select your criteria. And I won't run through it again, but effectively it's exactly the same process. You know, I'd call this one HR report, for example. So it's not necessarily a security perspective. It can fall under kind of duty of care as well. So let's pick a user here. If we think that potentially there's a kind of duty of care issue that they're constantly trying to access gambling domains when they're at work, you know, we might want to add that. Add that to the search criteria and say, okay, well, how many times has that individual user in the last 7-day period tried to access gambling domains? And as you can see, we've got quite a few here, so I'd say that probably warrants a conversation. Okay, nice and easy, and just a really quick overview of the reporting.